Okay, so you start in a 4-point kneeling position. Hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Kind of tuck your tailbone and arch in the upper back. Neck's going to be flexed. Then you extend the other way. You want to groove a pattern and go through those oscillations without creating any tension. You're just going to go for a few seconds each repetition. Make sure you're breathing regularly. You want to stay relaxed in this. I close my eyes in this video just to get me in a good state of mind, just get the groove going. Get fluid pumping in the back. So from there, I'm going to go into crook lying position. So you're going to be on your back. Feet are going to be flush. You'll notice neck is going to be long. Low back doesn't want to be arched excessively. You shouldn't be able to put your hand underneath your low back and the mat. And you don't want to overly aggressively flatten it either. So neck nice and long, back of the head against the mat, chin tucked in, ribs down. So take a breath of air in, breathe out, drop the rib cage, get connected from your abs to your pelvis, brace the core, breathe into the tension in your abdominals. So you want to stay neutral while you're breathing in. You want to feel a little bit of that tension from your abs. You're bracing, breathe into the tension. You can tap your abs with your hands as well. Now from here, we're going to have our knees above our shoulders. Again, neck tucked, chin tucked in, neck nice and long, back of the head against the mat, hands straight up, palms facing each other. This is going to be the dead bug. You're going to slowly go back, abs locked. You do 5 reps, each extremity independently. So slow and controlled. Breathe as you need to, but keep the connection between the rib cage and pelvis, so your abs are braced. You can reset each time, so when you go to the other side of your hand, go through the checklist, especially early on. Neck nice and long, chin tucked in. Breathe, make sure you're not holding your breath. Back stays flat. Do your 5 reps with your hand. Good, control. And elbow's going to be locked as well. Reset. Now you're going to do the leg. Get nice and stacked, knees above hips. Again, go through that same thing. Neck nice and long, chin tucked in. Now we're going to extend the leg. Whoa, got to get the bench out of the way. We'll kick it out of the way. So here we're learning to dissociate our lumbar movement from our hip. So as we lengthen our leg, that's a hip movement. My low back isn't moving at all. My back stays flat. I'm staying nice and braced. Breathe as you need to. Go perform 5 reps there. You should really feel it, especially with the legs. Good control until your heel taps at the ground. Like I said earlier, each time resetting. Good. Go through those stages, back nice and flat, neck nice and long, chin tucked in. There. Perfect. So again, this is dead bug. Start off with 5 repetitions. Good control. Nice and smooth. You want to compare left versus right if you want to notice anything differently. You want to keep that in mind. From there, now we're going to go into our hip bridge. So you want to lock the core in, and now here we want to be able to separate hip movement and back movement. Same idea. So now there's a straight line between my knee, hip, shoulder, all straight, squeezing my glutes, driving my heels through the ground. If you feel this in your hamstring, you need to reposition and sometimes lift the toes off and really drive your heels into the ground. So think about squeezing the glutes before you lift up, brace the core, squeeze and hold for 5 seconds at the top, and then slowly come down. So you're going to do 5 repetitions of those. This is hip bridge stage 1. Squeeze, breathe as you need to, nice and relax. And come back down. Okay. Now we're going to roll to, this is going to be clam shell. Very easy, just body weight only. This is more awareness. Eventually you can build up and have a band around your knees. So you want the feeling like you're going to fall over. So you see how I have my left hand on the mat. I don't want to extend my back. I don't want to rotate through the back. I'm feeling it in my glute. So if you could visualize you had a back pocket, you need to put your thumb and get that tactile feedback to see if you feel it in the glute. Lifting the leg up. Your ankles will remain, the heels at least will stick together. Then you lift up and then you come back down. Okay, so now moving along. The next, you'll do it both sides, of course. And now we have our plank. So plank, elbows under shoulder. A couple different ways we can do this. If you can start this way, no, it's all right. Locked in, chin tucked in. So reposition. Then you extend. So you should be able to draw a straight line from your ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle. So locked in, core is braced, not an excessive arch in the back. You're maintaining connectivity between your rib cage and your pelvis. All right, perfect. So now we're moving to remedial side plank, pivoting off the knee and then off the elbow. So same thing, straight lines. It's all about angles. You want to make sure a straight line between the knee, hip, and shoulder. Try to keep that neck neutral, the side that's closest to the ground. You're really pushing off and feeling that lat. So the elbow's driving, you're very active with your shoulders here. If you have weak shoulders, you're going to feel it. So that might be your limiting factor. That's why I started with the remedial position. And you want to feel in the oblique. So then now we do bird dog, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, neck nice and long. We want to get good posture early on, teach you what neutral position is. Back is going to be nice and neutral. You kick the thing about I'm kicking the bench behind me or kicking the wall behind me, squeezing the glute, pausing a little bit. Good, 5 reps. So you notice my lumbar spine isn't moving. It might move a tiny bit, but the movement is generated from my hips versus my back. So you think about kicking straight out, not necessarily just up, like you're pressing into the wall behind you and activating that glute and squeezing it. So if you need to hold a little bit longer to get that body awareness, you can definitely do that. So this is bird dog. Each extremity moves independently, 5 reps. Eventually we will sync things up and do with opposite patterns. Reset each time, make sure you're in good position. Arm's going to go 45 degrees away, thumb is going to be up. This is the reason I like this, is going to work your lower fibrous trap. It's a muscle in your around the shoulder blades and the upper back that doesn't get hit much, and typically the upper trap is overworked, so we need to balance it out with a lower trap. So that's always great. You want elbows locked, always good when you do this kind of move. Wake up those muscles, that postural muscles that get neglected.